From the dawn of civilization, humanity has been captivated by the unpredictable forces of fate. We have sought to understand, to predict, and sometimes to test the boundaries of luck. This impulse is ancient. It is woven into the very fabric of our shared history. Long before recorded time, cast bones, read omens in the stars, drew lots, to make decisions of great importance. This act of surrendering a choice to pure chance was not merely a game. It was a profound ritual, a way of communing with the unknown, and accepting outcomes beyond mortal control. This deep-seated fascination with fortune has persisted across millennia, evolving in form, but never truly fading from the human experience. This documentary, The History of the Lottery, Chance, Hope, and Human Destiny, explores one of the most organized and enduring expressions of this fascination. The lottery is more than just a simple wager. It is a social contract, a collective gamble that has financed empires, built cities, and funded revolutions. We will journey back in time to uncover its origins, tracing a path from ancient slips of paper to the sophisticated digital drawings of today. The story of the lottery is a mirror reflecting our own societal values, our collective aspirations, and our eternal hope for a sudden, transformative twist of fate. The narrative begins not in a glittering modern casino, but in the distant past. We will travel to Han Dynasty China, over 2,000 years ago, to examine some of the earliest known evidence of a state-organized game of chance. Here, we will find that these ancient games were not just for entertainment. They were a sophisticated tool of public finance, a method for the state to raise vast sums of money for monumental projects. It is a story that reveals how governments have long understood the power of a small ticket and a grand prize. The central claim of our exploration is that the lottery is one of history's most overlooked yet influential financial innovations. It represents a unique intersection of individual desire and collective need. By offering the slim possibility of immense personal wealth, states and institutions have successfully managed to fund public works that might otherwise have been impossible. We rely on verifiable historical facts and documented evidence. Our sources include the Smithsonian History Archives, Encyclopedia Britannica, and official government records from around the world. We'll present archaeological finds like ancient Chinese keno slips. We also hope that you enjoy this video. We'll examine preserved municipal documents from Renaissance Europe, detailing the rules, prizes, and proceeds of early state lotteries. Our story begins in the sprawling, unified empire of Han Dynasty China, a civilization that rose to prominence over 2,000 years ago. This was an era of profound innovation, cultural consolidation, immense ambition. Rulers governed under the mandate of heaven. The mandate was not just a divine right to rule. It was a responsibility to maintain order, to preserve prosperity, and to keep people secure. Foremost was the fortification and expansion of defensive walls, precursors to the Great Wall of China. Financing these works through taxation alone was perilous. Heavy taxes could lead to widespread discontent among the agrarian population. A new source of revenue was desperately needed. In this delicate context, one of history's most ingenious financial tools appears. The concept was revolutionary, a voluntary contribution masked as a game. Citizens could participate for a small sum, hoping to win a much larger prize, all while unknowingly funding the empire's critical infrastructure projects. The earliest known form of this state-sponsored lottery is often associated with a game that would later be called the Game of the White Pigeon. While the name itself may have emerged later, historical accounts, including those found in the Book of Han, provide clues about its operation. The game was likely a precursor to modern Keno. It involved a large board or sheet marked with a series of characters from the 1,000-character classic. The characters were widely known. Players would select a subset of these characters, marking their choices on a slip. After all the players had made their selections and paid their small entry fee, the organizers would publicly reveal the winning set of characters. The method of selecting these winning characters was designed to appear random and impartial, crucial for maintaining public trust in the game's fairness. Archaeological discoveries have lent tangible weight to these historical accounts. In the arid regions of Western China, researchers have unearthed wooden slips and fragments of paper dating back to the Han Dynasty. Some of these artifacts are believed to be the remnants of these ancient lottery tickets, representing some of the oldest physical evidence of a state-organized lottery in the world. The popular name, the Game of the White Pigeon, is thought to have come from the method used to transmit the results to outlying villages and districts. According to legend, carrier pigeons were used to fly the winning character combinations, connecting the capital to the provinces in a shared, empire-wide event. The primary purpose of this vast and sophisticated gaming network was unequivocal: to fund the state. The most cited application of this lottery income was the financing of the Great Wall. This financial innovation provided the Han government with a powerful alternative to more oppressive forms of fundraising. No one was forced to play. The lottery became a mechanism for building not just walls of stone and earth, but also intangible bonds of shared endeavor. This formula, conceived in ancient China, contained all the essential elements of the modern state lotteries we know today. It was a template for turning the private hope for wealth into a public source of wealth. As we journey west from Han China, our story of the lottery takes a fascinating turn. We arrive in the heart of the Roman Empire, a civilization renowned for its military might, engineering prowess, and complex social structure. Here, the concept of drawing lots, known as sorties, was a familiar and integral part of life. Yet, unlike in China, where the lottery had been forged into a tool for state finance, in Rome, its purpose was fundamentally different. The Roman version of the lottery was not about funding public works, but about public amusement, private amusement, a mechanism for distributing gifts and reinforcing the social hierarchies that defined their world. The host would provide a variety of prizes, known as a pofferita, ranging from valuable items to humorous gag gifts of little worth. Each guest would draw a lot, or ticket, which corresponded to one of these prizes. The Roman passion for lottery-style games reached its zenith during public festivals, most notably the wild and joyous celebration of Saturnalia. During Saturnalia, the state would sponsor massive public drawings, distributing prizes to the populace in a grand display of civic generosity. Instead of tickets being sold, they were often distributed freely. The most extravagant lotteries in Rome were those orchestrated by the emperors themselves, a dramatic display of imperial munificence. Emperors would host spectacular drawings where the prizes were not just loaves of bread, but deeds to houses, parcels of land, ships, and large sums of money. This reinforced a powerful personal connection between the ruler and his subjects. The emperor appeared as the very source of good fortune. The Roman legacy of the lottery, therefore, is one of entertainment, spectacle, and social engineering, not public finance. As the Middle Ages gave way to the Renaissance, Europe was undergoing a profound transformation. Feudalism was waning, and in its place, proud, semi-independent city-states were rising. However, their newfound prosperity and autonomy also brought new and pressing challenges. Cities needed to defend themselves and care for a growing population. The traditional methods of raising money, such as direct taxation, were often unpopular and politically risky. It was in this climate that the idea of the lottery was reborn. It would combine the Roman concept of a public spectacle with the long-forgotten Chinese principle of a state-run fundraising mechanism. The historical record points decisively to the Low Countries as the cradle of the modern lottery. As early as 1445, the city of Bruges organized a lottery to raise funds to strengthen its fortifications and support its almshouses. This event is a crucial milestone. To ensure fairness and build public trust, the drawing itself was a major public ceremony. A child or an orphan would be chosen to draw one ticket from each urn simultaneously. The announcer would read the number of the ticket, and then the corresponding slip from the prize urn. This careful public ritual was essential. The phenomenal success of the lottery model in the Low Countries ensured its rapid spread across the European continent. However, it was the city of Genoa that would give the world the term that is now synonymous with the game, the Lotto di Genova. By the late 16th century, the lottery had reached England. In 1566, Queen Elizabeth I authorized the first English state lottery. By the end of this period, the lottery was no longer a novelty, but a well-established and legitimate tool of governance across Europe. The stage was now set for the lottery's most audacious act yet, the financing of a new world across the Atlantic Ocean. As the 17th century dawned, England's ambitions turned westward, toward the vast, unknown continent of North America. The Virginia Company of London was chartered to establish a permanent colony. By 1612, the Virginia Company was on the brink of financial collapse. With the blessing of King James III, the Virginia Company was granted a royal charter to conduct a series of lotteries specifically to support the Jamestown colony. The fate of an empire's overseas ambitions was now tied to the speculative hopes of ordinary English citizens. The lotteries proved to be a resounding success. They raised thousands of pounds, providing the critical funds needed to sustain the Jamestown colony through its most vulnerable period. The success of the Jamestown lottery established a powerful precedent that became deeply ingrained in colonial America. The list of institutions funded by colonial lotteries reads like a foundational charter of the United States: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia. Prominent citizens like Benjamin Franklin and George Washington participated and organized lotteries. Franklin organized a lottery to buy cannons for Philadelphia's defense. Even the Continental Congress during the Revolutionary War authorized a lottery in 1776 to help fund the fight for independence against the British. As the 19th century progressed, the public perception of lotteries in the United States began to sour dramatically. The most infamous of these was the Louisiana State Lottery Company. It earned the nickname the Octopus for its far-reaching tentacles of influence, fraud, bribery, corruption. The lottery was no longer seen as a virtuous civic tool, but a corrupt, predatory business. A powerful reform movement rose in opposition. This public outcry led to a wave of anti-lottery legislation. By the turn of the 20th century, the prohibition was nearly absolute. The age of the lottery had ended in scandal and disgrace. The modern lottery era in America began in 1964, when New Hampshire introduced the first legal state-run lottery of the 20th century. To avoid the moral stigma of gambling, it was initially branded as the New Hampshire Sweepstakes, with proceeds earmarked specifically for education. The idea was an immediate success. Following New Hampshire's lead, other states quickly followed suit. The key to this rebirth was technology and transparency. Mechanical machines using air-blown ping-pong balls became the standard. Today, state-sponsored lotteries are a ubiquitous feature of modern life. The games have evolved from simple weekly draws to a vast array of products, with prizes reaching into the hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. The lottery has been completely reborn, highly regulated, technologically advanced, and once again, a deeply embedded part of the modern global economy. Our journey through the history of the lottery has revealed a remarkable and enduring cycle, a recurring pattern where societal need intersects with the timeless human fascination with chance. When faced with the challenge of financing large-scale public projects, governments have repeatedly turned to the lottery. The true genius of the modern lottery was the masterful fusion of these two legacies: the Roman tradition of public spectacle, with the Chinese principle of state-controlled fundraising. At its core, the lottery is not just selling a chance to win, it is selling hope. It is the dream of a sudden, dramatic, and positive transformation. This dream, however improbable, provides a powerful and deeply comforting emotional release. People are not buying a statistical probability. They are buying a narrative in which they can imagine themselves as the protagonist. Despite its long history, The lottery remains a complex and controversial institution, presenting clear benefits on one side and significant ethical concerns on the other. The simple act of drawing a lot connects us to our most ancient ancestors, who used the same method to make decisions, seek divine guidance, and accept outcomes that lay beyond their control. The lottery formalizes this ancient impulse into a social contract. It represents a unique compromise between individualistic dreams of wealth and collectivistic goals of public welfare. In the end, the lottery endures because it speaks to a fundamental part of the human condition, the belief that the future is not entirely written, and that at any moment, a random, unpredictable event can change everything. The history of the lottery is the history of this enduring, irrepressible human hope.